Here's the problem. People land on your website, but they don't buy anything. They don't convert. They don't schedule the appointment. What do? How can you increase the likelihood that you're going to get an engagement out of a website visitor? Well, one is you can monitor your website 24/7. So the next best thing is to put forth a AI powered chatbot on your website. My name is Kevin. I am the founder and the owner of KTV Digital, and we help businesses get found with online search. We help with AI optimization, which is certainly a growing field. So we're going to start off looking at the KTV Digital website here. And if you look down the lower right, you're going to see our chatbot bubble. Again, nothing new. You've seen this probably 1,000 times. Tell me about AI optimization. Okay, so we're going to look at some of the key points of what this particular agent knows, or this assistant knows, about optimizing for AI. And then here we go. It's giving you a whole list of information because this is what we've trained it on. This is our knowledge combined with the power of AI to give these answers. So let's ask it a follow-up question. So how can I contact a rep or schedule an appointment? I mean, you can say it a bunch of different ways. Here we go. Schedule a free call. On and on and on. So a lot of different options here. And then one is our contact us page. So if you go to the contact us page, you'll notice that we've replaced what typically is a standard HTML form with another type of chat, which is just going to have a conversation. People can ask it questions while gathering the information that we need to contact them. So how do we get here? How do we make this? How do we deploy this? Because you can see this in two different versions. We have one is embedded on a page, and the other one was a pop-up form. So the tool that I use is called Pickaxe. And this is by no means the only game in town. I mean, there's other ones. There's Chatbase, Landbot.io, and one just called Chatbot. They all work the same. I'm sure they all have their pluses and minuses, depending on what your particular workflow is. I'm just going to show you behind the scenes of what I do in Pickaxe. So this is the welcome screen. And next we are going to get into my login. And by the way, all of the links to Pickaxe and any other tools we talk about, you'll find them down below. In full disclosure, they will be my affiliate links, so I will get credit if you visit those links and decide to get one of those products. Doesn't affect you at all, doesn't cost you more, anything like that. It just ensures that I get credit for it. So I would appreciate it if you could check those out. So what we're going to do is we are going to get into the KTV Digital AI Hub. This is a collection of tools. Now, what I clicked in there was what's called a studio. And that's where we create kind of a web page or a landing page full of these tools. And we'll go back and discuss that more. But now that I'm in this particular studio with a collection of all these tools, this is the tool right here, this KTV Assistant. So we'll get in and edit the tool itself. So once this is already all pre-created, so I'm not showing you how to do it from scratch. Maybe we'll do that later on. Pickaxe has some great videos on how to do this from the ground up. And as you can see, they have some templates there, but this one again is already created. You've seen it in action. So this is the actual prompt for the tool itself. So you can see there's a lot to it. There's a lot that we bake into this. And look, if you're interested in learning more about prompting, we have a free download that discusses different methodologies of prompting and then kind of the structure that we use for our prompt. So look for that link as well. But with the prompt here, it's pretty significant. There's a lot of instruction. And what's interesting about the way this works in Pickaxe, remember we talked about training this particular tool, this model on our data. So that's where you get into this knowledge aspect here. So this is organized in what's called a RAG model. You may have heard this term before. RAG stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. So we're using the power of AI, and we're able to go to ChatGPT or whatever the engine is. I can't remember which engine I'm using on this one. We'll look in a second. But what it's doing is it's connecting to all of these pieces of data that I've connected to. And what's great about Pickaxe is you can either upload documents, Word files, PDF files, text files, but you can also scrape web pages. So if you have a pretty expansive website built out with a lot of like blog content, educational content, then you can scrape those pages, pull that information into your knowledge base, and then have your AI tool reference that information to send it back out as responses to the tool. The other thing is you can add some back-ended actions here. And there's all kinds of things you can do. This is relatively new to connect it to MCP servers. So if there's a specific server that you want to connect to, and that's a whole different topic, but think of an MCP server as a USB device that just connects to AI. And these are made for specific purposes. You can go through that. And then you can look at some of these community actions that are already built. And if you see this split arrow, that just means that you can clone that tool, customize it, and make it your own for your use case. But, pretty simple stuff here. Generate PDF files, send emails. There's a whole list of these actions that you can do on the back end. And right now, the only one that I have set up is to send a summary email to me. Anybody that engages with this tool, I need to know what was discussed. It's not sharing personal information with me. It's not collecting any data. It's just letting me know what's important to people that use the tool so I can, better create content that serves that need, if that makes sense. There's a configuration tab here. So this is where you can change some of the icons. You can actually control the tokens. So, if you've done your learning about AI, then you know that all of the actions require tokens. So each, small word chunk requires a token. And this is where you can control those inputs and outputs to scale it to best fit your particular need. So back to the prompts. This is what we talked about earlier. If you go down here, there are several models to choose from, and I've chosen Claude. I'm actually using Claude more and more these days. I just personally feel that I get better quality responses. And frankly, I think in a lot of ways it's smarter just for some of the tasks that we want it to do. But you do have the option to select other models here, but I've chosen this Claude 4.1 Opus for this tool. But that's it in a nutshell. Hopefully that just gives you an overview of what the back end of this looks like, and then what you can create to deploy a custom tool like this on your website. Oh, you know what? Before I get there, that brings up a very good point. Let's talk about deployment. So deploying just basically means taking this tool and putting it somewhere. So again, how do you want to show up on the website? As a chatbot, as an embedded tool, as a button. So I've got all of these created. So this is where you create the deployment. And FAB stands for floating action button, just in case you're not familiar with the terminology. But this is where you set that up. And then this is the preview. But once you go through the configuration and build this out, if you want to put it on your website, all you have to do is click the share button and copy this code, drop it into the header of your website, and this gives you the instructions right there. And there you go. And it's the same process if you're going to do it on a page. Like this is an on-page embed. So you get an iframe here that you just copy and paste into the page, and it's going to reference this tool online and then just bring it into that web page. Well, there you go. I hope you found this information helpful. If you have any questions, certainly reach out and stay connected. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get more information like this. We're going to be doing more behind the scenes stuff and breaking apart these tools to show you how they work. All right, take care. See ya.